It's never a bad time. It's never a bad time. Toastmaster Joy Gaylord.
It's a bad time to have car trouble when you're on your way to an important appointment. It's a bad time to get sick the day you're supposed to leave on your dream vacation. And it's a bad time for the phone to ring when you're right in the middle of a delicate project that requires your complete attention, or you're just about to set that record in the video game you're playing. But it's never a bad time for an act of kindness. Mr. Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, when my son was in the sixth grade, he and I had a very bad time. One day, the phone rang. When I answered it, I heard, "Mrs. Gaylord, this is the secretary at Hollow Hills. Can you come to the school? Danny has hurt his leg." When I got to the school, as directed, I went to the playing fields behind the building. There I found a white-faced Danny lying on the grass, one leg in a cardboard splint. The school nurse who had applied the splint and the principal were standing beside him. They explained that the boys in his class had been playing rugby during recess. There had been a pileup, and one of the larger boys had fallen across Dan's leg. The nurse said she was afraid it might be broken and recommended that I take him to the emergency room. There was no way I was going to try to get him in and out of a car in that condition, so we called an ambulance to take us to Simi Valley Hospital. As I followed the attendants who were pushing his gurney through the emergency entrance, I saw that the waiting room was full of people. When I went to the desk to check Danny in, I found out why. I had forgotten, but there was a doctor strike going on at the time. I think it had something to do with the high cost of malpractice insurance. At any rate, many doctors were refusing to treat anything that wasn't life-threatening, and there was no doctor on duty at the emergency room. The woman behind the desk told me I had two options: call my family doctor and hope that he would be willing to come treat Danny, or I would have to take Danny to Ventura to the county hospital there. When I called our doctor's office and explained the situation, the receptionist said she was sure that our doctor would be happy to come take care of Danny, but that he was at a meeting in Los Angeles and wouldn't be back for at least an hour. I still figured waiting would be better than going to Ventura. So as Danny's gurney was pushed to the side of the room, and I stood by it while we waited and waited and waited. After what seemed like a long time, the door into the interior of the hospital opened, and a gray-haired African-American man came through. He looked around the room, then walked directly towards us. When he reached Danny's side, he took a St. Christopher's medal from around his own neck and put it around Danny's neck, saying, "God will heal it." He flashed me a quick smile in response to my stammered thank you, then turned and walked out of the door. We had never seen him before, and we never saw him again. But neither of us has ever forgotten him. Danny had no idea what the medal meant, since we're not Catholic. But I explained to him that as I understood it, some people feel that wearing one is a protection against harm. So he decided to leave it on. He continued to wear that through the rest of the sixth grade, through the summer, and on into junior high school. Eventually, it wore through and wouldn't stay on the chain anymore. He put it away carefully. On the 23rd of this month, he'll celebrate his 50th birthday, but he still has that medal and he knows exactly where it is. We never know when something that we do or say is going to have a really lasting effect on someone else. And we all have opportunities to perform acts of kindness almost every day. It doesn't have to be anything big like giving someone your own medal. It can be letting somebody go ahead of you in line at the supermarket, or complimenting a server or a clerk on how they handled an unpleasant customer. It can be a number of things. It can be an apology. Several years ago, I had a piece of equipment that needed repair, and the only place I could find that would repair it was in Reseda. So I took it over there and was given a date to pick it up. When I went back to pick it up, the girl behind the counter knew nothing about it, so she went in the back room to check. She came out and told me that they hadn't even looked at it yet. Gave me another date to pick it up. Well, to say I was upset would be to put it mildly. I don't remember what I said, but by the time I was through, not only the woman behind the counter, but probably the fellows in the back room and the people 2 doors away knew that I was upset. Well, the day I was supposed to pick it up, I called to make sure it was ready and was told that it was. So when I walked in, she asked if she could help me. I walked up to the counter and I said, first, I have to apologize. I was very rude to you the last time I was in. I was upset, and I had a good reason to be upset, but I had no right to take it out on you. To my amazement, she put her hand on mine where it lay on the counter, and with tears in her eyes said, you have no idea how much that means to me. We never know what an effect our actions may have on someone else. So just keep your eyes open for the opportunity to do an act of kindness. And remember, it's never a bad time for that. Mr. Toastmaster.
Let me help you to your chair.